So in 1972, there was a very, very unusual study that was conducted at a maximum security prison inside of the state of California. Now, the goal of this study was to simply test how people would react to kindness when it comes from a position of strength versus when it comes from a position of weakness. Now, the researchers did something very radical, and what they did was they selected two inmates. Let's call them Inmate A and Inmate B. And they placed these inmates in separate groups of prisoners. Now, both of these inmates were given the same exact task. Over the next 2 weeks, they had to try and win the respect of their fellow prisoners. But there was a twist. Inmate A was told to do it by being nice. He was instructed to be as agreeable as possible, to always smile, to offer his food to others, to be helpful, to avoid confrontation afterwards, at all costs, and to never, ever challenge any of the other prisoners. Now, Inmate B, on the other hand, was actually given completely different instructions, and Inmate B was told to do the complete opposite. He was told to be firm, to stand his ground, to speak only when necessary. And if somebody ever disrespected him, never react emotionally, just simply hold eye contact and let the other prisoners feel his presence. But, and this was the key, after establishing this presence, he was allowed to show small acts of kindness to the other prisoners. He was able to give a compliment here and there, a shared cigarette, or a well-timed joke to ease tension. Now here's where things got really, really crazy. So after the 2 weeks that these inmates had to try to accomplish their goal, the researchers asked the prisoners in each group how they felt about Inmate A and Inmate B. Now, Inmate A, the one who led with kindness, he was completely disrespected by the other prisoners. The other prisoners saw him as weak, as desperate, and even pathetic. And he was the target of many jokes. Some of the other prisoners even started stealing his food, knowing that he wouldn't fight back. And his kindness wasn't seen as kindness, it was seen as submission, or in other words, it was seen as weakness by the other prisoners. Now, Inmate B, the prisoner who was, the one who was instructed to lead with strength, and the one who only showed kindness after establishing strength or after establishing dominance. Inmate B ultimately was respected by the other prisoners. In fact, he wasn't just respected, he was actually admired by many of them. Other inmates actually looked up to him, they trusted him, and they saw his kindness as valuable because they knew that he didn't have to give it, because it came after he showed strength. So this experiment actually revealed a very brutal truth about human nature and female nature in general. And what they uncovered was that in any situation, particularly when you have a man who is interacting with a woman, whenever you give kindness before strength, when kindness comes before strength. So if you show kindness before you show strength, it is always seen as weakness, okay? But when kindness comes after strength, it is seen as power, it is seen as charm, it is seen as high value, okay? And this is exactly how women perceive men. It's exactly how it works with men. This is exactly how attraction works with women, okay? And so what this means from a practical point of view is that if a man leads with kindness, which, to be totally honest, is what 95% of men in the world do today, this is what the overwhelming majority of men out there do, is they lead with kindness, okay? And so if a man leads with kindness, like imagine you go and meet a woman for the first time. If you lead with kindness, like if you present yourself as somebody who is really kind, somebody who is really nice, who is overly agreeable, who is always smiling, always trying to please the other person, make them feel good, make sure they're happy. If you do this, women can't help but instinctually see you on a primal level as a man who is weak, okay? And women, as you know, can't be attracted to weak men. It's literally forbidden by nature itself for women to be attracted to weak men. Okay, so women might appreciate the effort. You know, they might appreciate the kindness, but deep down, they will not respect it. And if they do not respect it, they cannot feel attraction. Okay, if a woman does not respect you, she can never feel attraction for you. But if a man leads with strength, okay, if you go out tomorrow and you meet some random woman, you just start, strike up a conversation with her. You start talking to her. If you lead with strength, if you are firm without seeking approval, if you hold the frame of strength, it is then and only then that kindness will become valuable. If you show kindness afterwards, okay. Most men, they make the mistake, the unforgivable mistake, of leading with kindness, okay? So whenever they meet women, whenever they are interacting with women, they always start the interaction off with kindness rather than strength. It basically makes women see you as absolutely weak, okay? And if they see you as weak, they cannot become attracted to you, okay? It is literally forbidden by nature, okay? But if you show strength, if you lead with strength, anytime that you interact with a woman, and then show kindness later, then all of a sudden, that same kindness, that would cause a woman to be repulsed by you, like physically repulsed by you. That same kindness now is actually seen as a good trait. It is seen as a high value trait. It is seen as something that they actually like, okay? Because what women understand is that when you lead with strength and show kindness later, they see the kindness as a choice. In other words, they see it in a way that you are being kind to them because you are choosing to be, not because you are a weak man who is desperate for their approval, for their validation, for their attention, or for something else. Okay, in other words, it is not a plea for acceptance. As long as the kindness comes after, you have already shown strength. You have already established dominance, established strength, okay? If you think about the difference between, for example, a lion compared to something like a lapdog is nice because it has to be, okay? It has no strength, it has no presence, and it literally depends on others for survival. The typical domesticated dog in the world today, it literally depends on its owners for survival. If you took a dog and put it out, in the real world, it wouldn't make it, okay? It would not make it. Whereas if you took a lion and put it out in the real world, a lion would have probably no trouble at all, actually catching food and surviving. Okay, so there is a difference there, okay? The difference is that a lion chooses when to be calm. It chooses when to be gentle, when to show warmth, but it always leads with strength, okay? And because of that, it means something. It has value, okay? So if you look at the overwhelming majority of men in this world today, it is unfortunate to say, but they are basically invisible to women. And if you really drill down to the core reason of why they are invisible to women, why women don't want anything to do with them, why most women are physically repulsed by these men, even if they don't show it, deep down they are feeling literal repulsion around these types of men. Okay, and the reason why is because these men, they're all doing the same exact thing. They are leading with kindness. They are leading essentially with weakness, okay? When they need to be leading with strength. This is why weak men who try to be kind in order to gain acceptance from women, this is why they get ignored, okay? And this is the weirdest thing. It is almost paradoxical because so many of us are brought up, especially those of us who had a single mom. Who we're raised by. Like myself. The majority of women, I was raised by basically all women. My whole family was all women. And so what happens is you get to a point where basically you are programmed from a very young age to be more like a woman, to behave like a woman, to present yourself from the perspective of kindness, to offer kindness, and essentially weakness. Okay, it doesn't work as long as you present yourself from the frame of strength and then show kindness later. That is what works. That is what gets women. That is what attracts women. Strong men who choose to be kind are adored by women, men who lead with strength, and then choose to be kind to women later. They are absolutely adored by women. They are chased after by women. They are chased after by women. Women absolutely love these types of men, okay? So the key takeaway here is very, very simple. Kindness before strength in any interaction that you have with women. Kindness. Showing kindness before strength is just another way of showing submission, okay? It is just another way of essentially telling a woman without telling her that you are weak, okay? But kindness after strength, that is what women actually want, okay? So in your interaction with women, no matter where it is, no matter who you are talking to, kindness should never ever come before strength. This is especially important if you are meeting a woman that you have never met for the first time. Okay? If you are out in the real world and you are interacting with women who have never seen you or met you before, it is more important in those situations than any other situation to present yourself, to present strength first and kindness second. Okay? If you show kindness before strength, women will always see it as weakness, and their attraction level for you will be 0. In fact, they will probably be repulsed by you. Okay? So kindness should only ever be shown after you have essentially established yourself from the frame of strength. Okay? After you have shown strength and dominance first, then kindness can be shown. And at that point, it is actually seen as a high value trait. It is seen as something that is valuable as long as you lead with strength. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And as always, until next time, thanks for watching.